Hi, and welcome back to Just Another Stitch. For those that don't know me, my name is Connie, and today I'm going to show you how to do the knit front and back stitch in knitting. This tutorial is part of my beginner knit series. I'm going to be doing videos for this series every other week, and I have all the videos I've done already in a playlist. And then I will be continuing to add to that playlist. And that link you can find in the description box of this video. I believe I called it Beginner Knit Series. All right, so for this tutorial, you are going to need either 5 or 5.5 millimeter knitting needles. I'm using double pointed. You can also use circular knitting needles. And the yarn I'm using is a 4-weight yarn. It's Big Twist worsted. I'm using, I believe this is a colorway medium gray. But any 4-weight yarn will do for this tutorial. And even 5-weight yarn. The yarn really doesn't matter, but I would suggest a 4 or 5-weight yarn. All right, so for my swatch, I did the long tail cast on method, and I casted on 12 stitches, and I did 5 rows of knit stitches just so I have a swatch to kind of hold on to. But that's my setup here. So a little bit about the knit front and back stitch. It is a left leaning increase stitch. You turn 1 stitch into 2 stitches. And you might also hear it referred to as a bore increase because you create a little visible purl bore when you do it. And it's abbreviated KFB. You might also see it abbreviated K1FB or K1F and then the and sign and then B. All right. So let's get started here. All right, so for this stitch, you started off like you would the knit stitch, but you don't finish the stitch off. There's more to it afterwards. All right, so take your right needle and go through your front, in between your front and back loop of the stitch. You see how it's like this, but you want it to be tighter. All right. And it looks like this in the back. You're making an X. Your right needle goes under the left needle and you're through the stitch. All right. Take your yarn that's connected to your skein. Wrap it around your right needle. All right. Take your right needle and pull it through the stitch, but do not finish the stitch off. All right, now you can hold it like this. All right, the way that you increase the stitches, you go through the back loop. And you see, I turn my work over. This is the back loop right here. Let me see, I have it through the back loop. That's how you want your knitting needle. All right. Then you wrap your yarn around that right needle again. Then you go through the stitch. And you see how now you have 2 loops on your knitting needle. And then you finish off the stitch and you have 2 loops. So that 1 stitch turned into 2 stitches. Don't worry, we're going to get some more practice. I'm just going to do a knit stitch here. All right. So again, you go through the stitch like you're doing a knit stitch. See, that's how it should look. All right. Right hook is under the left needle. Wrap your yarn around the right needle. pull through the stitch, but do not finish it off. All right. Now you're going to go to the back and go through that back loop. See, here's that back loop right there. Then you wrap around the right hook and you go through the stitch and knock the loop off. And again, you have 2 stitches from that one stitch. We're going to get a little more practice. We'll do it a few more times to make sure you have it. All right, go in that stitch like you're making a knit stitch. See, right needle is under the left needle. You make that X. And that's how it looks from the back. Wrap your yarn around the right needle. Pull through. Do not finish the stitch off. And after you do it, you can put your needles like this. All right. Now you're going to go through the back loop. So I turn my work over so you can see that back loop. And your needle goes through like that. And then you just wrap around that right needle. Pull through the stitch and knock the stitch off your needle. And now you have 2 stitches. All right. Let's do that. We'll do it 2 more times to make sure you have it. All right. Go through the stitch like you make your X. You go between the front and the back loop of that stitch. Wrap around your right needle. Go through the stitch. All right. Now you're going to find that back loop right here. Go through. Take your right needle, go through it. Wrap your yarn around. And then just go through that stitch and take it off your needle. So now you have your 2 loops. All right. Let's do this one final time. Go through like you're make your X between the front and the back loop. And you see that's your stitch. Right here, the front part, that's your front loop. If you go to the back, this is your back loop. Okay? So you make your X. Wrap your yarn around the right hook. Take your right needle through the stitch. Now you turn and get that needle through that back loop like that. Wrap your yarn around the right needle again and pull through the stitch and knock it off. And again, that one stitch turned into two stitches. Sorry, I got tongue-tied. So that is how you do the knit front and back stitch in knitting. And let me know in the comments how your knitting journey is going. So, oh, one other thing I want to mention too. If you have any requests for things that you want me to do in my beginner knit series, let me know in the comments or send me an email to justanotherstitch2020@gmail.com and I will add it to my list of videos if I don't already have it on my list. All right, so have a fabulous day, everyone. Bye.